I think this is a new one, so we're just going to continue on with what we have. I have my calculator. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 13, and that is 40.82 times the radius squared. Okay, so now I am solving for the radius squared. I am going to divide both sides by 40.82. Okay, so that's going to cancel down to 1. So this is going to be what r squared is. So you're going to take 980 and divide it by 40.82. Ooh, and I get a very big decimal number. It's 24.0078, etc. So I am going to just round it right now. And here's the issue. The radius squared is 24. I don't want the radius squared, I want the radius. So how do I unsquare the radius? Well, that's right, you're going to square root it. So if I square root something, that's the same thing as unsquaring it. But if I unsquare the radius squared, I have to unsquare the 24. Whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right, left, right. All right, so the radius squared, square root of the radius squared is just the radius. So what you're going to do, I don't know what your calculator looks like, but I'm going to show you on this one. If you want to find the square root of something, you are looking for this symbol right there. See that? Now on my calculator, it is green, so I have to push the second button to access that. I don't know what your calculator looks like, but if you're using just the calculator on your phone, you're going to put 24 in, and then you are going to push, you're going to have to put your calculator sideways if it's an iPhone, and you'll see the square root sign. So you'll put 24 and then hit that square root sign, and it will square root it for you. But if it's a calculator, you probably have to access the square root and then put the number under it. So I'm going to push second and this, and you can see I've got the square root. And then I'm going to put 24 and then enter. Oops. All right, this is in the wrong format. This is in math print form. I pushed this right here, and it translated it to this. Okay, so it is 4.8989799486, etc. I believe it said to round to the nearest tenth. And if it did, the 8 is in the 10th place. Do we leave it at 8 or make it go up to a 9? Well, we make it go up to a 9 because a 9 next to it tells me to do that. So the radius is about 4.9. All right, but here's the tricky thing. It asks for the diameter. If the radius is about 4.9, the diameter is twice as much. So you can do 4.9 times 2. Well, 9 times 2 is 18. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And then put there. So the diameter, see these little wavy lines? That means it's about 9.8 centimeters. That was a tough one. All right. Let's do 2 more. We are going, let me see what I check my notes. We are going to do 10 and 11. All right, let's look at 10. A company manufactures cylindrical cans. Each can has a volume of 9 pi cubic inches and a height of 4 inches. Find the diameter of each can. That's A. B. The company plans to manufacture a can with a volume that is 25% larger than the original can. What is the radius of the new can if the height remains the same? Whew, okay. So each can has a volume. Find the diameter. We are working with volume. So I am going to write that down. Volume is pi times the radius squared times the height. It says, each can has a volume of 9 cubic inches and a height of 4 inches. So 9 pi, I'm going to put that for V because it says volume. 9 pi equals pi times, do we know the radius? Nope, we don't know the radius squared, times the height is 4, okay? So 9 pi, I'm going to just rearrange this, is 4 pi times the radius squared. There's a big old multiplication problem there. So we can divide both sides by 4 pi. Okay? That cancels out, and the pi's cancel out, and you have 9 over 4. Oh, that's the radius squared. See the squared? All right, I'm going to leave it like this, only because I see that 9 and 4 are both square numbers. So it's going to be very easy to unsquare this even without a calculator. So we got to find the square root because this is the radius squared. I don't want the radius squared, I want the radius. So I have to unsquare the radius squared. That means I have to unsquare this. So the radius is the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 4 is 2. So it's 3/2. This is tough. All right, but A does not ask for the radius, it asks for the diameter. If the radius is 3/2, the diameter is twice as much, okay? So the diameter would be 2 times 3/2. Well, 2 times 3/2 would be 6/2, and 6/2 simplified is 3. So the diameter is going to be 3 inches, okay? All right, let's look at B. Well, that's A. A is a big mess over here. Let's look at B. B, the company plans to manufacture a can with a volume that is 25% larger than the original can. What is the radius of the new can if the height remains the same? Okay. So let's see. I'm not sure how the best way to solve this is, but I need it to be 25% larger. Okay? So the volume needs to be 25% larger. The volume currently is 9 pi, right? We want it to be 25% larger. Okay. All right, so what I can do is I can multiply 9 pi times 0.25. Okay? So I'm going to just let pi be, let me clear that. I'm going to do 9 times 0.25, and that equals 2.25. So that would be 2.25 pi. Okay, so 25% of this is 2.25 pi. We want it to be larger by this amount. So it's going to be 9 pi is the original plus, I keep breaking my pencil, plus 2.25 pi. Well, 9 pi plus 2.25 pi is 11.25 pi. You guys, if you are following me, you are doing very well. Okay. So what the question is, the height's going to stay 4. What does the new radius need to be? The new radius. Okay, so let's put this into our volume. Volume, instead of 9 pi, is going to be 11.25 pi. It's going to equal, the volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height. The height's going to stay 4. So I'm going to rearrange this to 4 pi times the radius squared, and this is 11.25 pi. And now to get the radius squared by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 4 pi. Okay, 4 pi divided by 4 pi is 1. Okay, see the pi divided by pi, it cancels out. So the radius squared is going to be 11.25 divided by 4. So you're going to take your calculator and clear it, and we're going to do 11.25 divided by 4. 2.8125. Okay, 2.8125. That's what the radius squared is. But I don't want the radius squared, I want the radius. So I have to unsquare it. But then I got to do the same thing here. So now I've got to put 2.8125 in the square root sign. All right, and again, I don't know what your calculator looks like, but you're looking for the pi sign. Mine is green, which is a secondary function, so I have to push second in that. Second pi, and then I forgot my number, 2.8125. Enter. 1.677. All right, I think it asks us to round to the nearest tenth. So 6 is in the tenths place, the 7th does the talking. Does the 7 say leave that 6 alone or make it go up to a 7? Well, it says make it go up to a 7. So instead of 1.6, we're going to put 1.7. So the radius is about 1.7, and our unit is inches. All right, that was a tricky one. All right, what I want you to do is try the rest on your own, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.